Morning, guys. I wanted to explain the math today. I'm going to go back and forth from two Chromebooks, though, because that's very little. So, what you're going to be doing today is developing usually using bar graphs and picture graphs. So, we've done bar graphs and we've even looked at picture graphs, but I want to just explain what the question says on this first page. So, the question asks you, Martin asked the students in his class, "What is your favorite sport?" He makes a picture of the graph and a bar graph to show the results. How many students does Martin ask? So this side is going to show you the pictures. This side is going to go to the bar graph. You're going to answer the question here, and you can actually type on the screen now, so you don't have to do it on paper or anything. So look at both of the graphs and decide how many students does he ask. So when you're thinking about this, each of these are one student. So this is a student, 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 and so on. So you're counting all the balls, and then you're going to count the basketballs, you're going to count the tennis balls and the footballs. So you can count them all and keep going, or you can look at the bar graph and do the same thing and say there's 7 there, and then we see 4 for the baseball, and then we see tennis has 3 kids, and then for football there's 6. So you could add these up, or you could add these up, or count on and then write your answer. Now I'm going to go ahead and go to the next slide in just a second. I got to pull mine up because you can always stop yours. And the next slide, we're just going through what you did. And you guys, we've done this every time. So again, Martin asked his students in class, "What is your favorite sport?" He makes a picture graph and a bar graph to show the results. How many students does he ask? So when I'm looking at the picture it, which is this part, you can add the total pictures on the picture graph, which I explained on the first slide. So you can count them up and add them. Or you can also do the same thing. You can add the totals in each bar on the bar graph. So that just is explaining what we talked about. And then you can stop this if I'm going too fast. I'm going to look at the third slide. So this is helping you connect it. So how do you use, I'll read that first part. Now that you will use the problem from the previous page. So you're going to have to flip back and forth on this one to understand more about bar graphs and picture graphs. Number 1, how do you use the picture graph to find the number of students who choose soccer? Just soccer. So what did you do there? And you'll write your answer in, what you did, and maybe the total number of soccer. And then number 2, how do you use the bar graph to find the number of students who chose soccer? So the first one's on the picture graph with soccer, and the second one is on the bar graph. So you're going to explain to me how you look at that bar and look at the numbers. And then there's number 3, which is a smaller part, but it wants to know how many students chose soccer as their favorite sport. And you'll type that answer in. And you could take as much time as you need on this. I'm going to keep reading though. Number 4, how many students does Martin ask? Explain how you use the bar graph to get your answer. So we talked a lot more about the picture graph. How did you use the bar graph? And then I also want you to answer number 5 because it's a pretty simple question. So looking back at both strategies, bar and picture graph, what type of graph do you like the best for solving a problem about data? So when looking at something like that, or the other day when we talked about our cookies. What was our favorite? We could have made different cookies. We could have done a picture, or we did a bar graph. Which is your favorite? Which one jumps out to you the most? And you look at it and say, "Oh, I see that right there." All right, let's look at our next page. And I believe this one you get to practice. And I'm going to go to on my screen. So on this one, it says use what you just learned to solve the problem. So you have a hamburger, taco, and pizza. How many fewer students chose taco than pizza. So what that means is I'm comparing the taco and the pizza, and I'm comparing fewer. So when I say fewer, that means subtraction. Think about the difference. So you're going to figure out that answer and put it in there. And then it says how many students chose a hamburger or pizza. So that means you're looking at the total here and the total here, and you want to know all together. And you know what all together means. That means you're adding. Then number 8, down here by that big burger, which statements are true about the data in the graph? Data just means the information they're sharing. Fancy word for the picture graph or the bar graph. So we usually have more than one answer. So make sure you listen to all of them and you will click. I think you just click on those answers on there. Okay. If it doesn't work, again, don't freak out about it. It's okay. I know you know the answers. So here we go. Which statements are true? 3 more students chose pizza than the taco. So you're looking at pizza and taco and you're comparing. Are there 3 more that liked the pizza rather than taco? If that's true, you click A. And then B says hamburger gets the most votes. If that is true, you click B as well. C, 1 fewer student chooses taco than hamburger. So fewer means difference. If it's 1 less from here to here and you agree with that, you will choose C. D, 12 students choose hamburger or tacos. So when you're saying or, you're adding that up. Are there 12 altogether? If you agree, you click D. And E says 17 students vote in all. Well, we practiced that on the other page. You're adding up all 3 bars to see how many students voted. And then I think that's the last part. Then tomorrow you're going to practice the same skill for continuing learning, but they'll be what I call the green pages. So we'll do those tomorrow. Have a great day. I hope that makes a little more sense, me explaining it this way. If not, ask me the questions. See you later. And you'll see me a minute here until this stops.